You know, I had to laugh yesterday when I came across a video of a so-called activist at the S&P conference in which he called the Prime Minister a Makoglikit Numpty, which was met with the proverbial laughter and applause. But it wasn't the lame-brain British equivalent of an orange man bad routine that I came to find all that humorous. Oh no, it was in fact in regards to the debate that he was taking part in that I found a bit more ironically humorous. As it says here, he spoke at the conference as the conference passed a resolution calling on the Scottish Government to support the promotion of Scots language. He told the conference action was needed, saying despite the language being everywhere, it's also nowhere at the same time. There's no legislation protecting it. There's no strategy to promote it. It has no official status. It's absent from broadcasting, the school curriculum, and from our national conversations. So we need political action to change this. Oh well. Oh well then. See, I don't see these commitments being made for native Scots. I don't see any acknowledgement nor any protections, and it is also exempt from the curriculum. They've quietly done away with the fact that there is even a native Scottish population, as they've replaced it with the anybody who comes here is just as Scottish as somebody who's lived here for generations routine. This is our homelands. And it's not isolationist nor racist to state the fucking obvious. But of course, in Rainbow Unicorn Land, that's exactly what it is. That's taboo. But accepting their new normal as the status quo, this narrative to fester and be taught to children at all ages as well as promoted across the country, means anybody from here on out is just as Scottish as the natives, and when the natives decline, not one eyebrow will be raised. But as long as the new Scots can speak the fucking lingo, that's all that matters, am I right? As long as the new Scots can be taught about the Scots language, that's A-OK, is it?
This is a Tory government that is even worse than the government that preceded it. This is a government that's been shunned even by Theresa May's closest ministers. It's more extreme and it's more dangerous in every respect. Take one example, our people. Our people are our greatest asset. And yet
our people are our greatest asset. Our people. And which people are we referring to here? Because our people could effectively be anyone. It could be people at Cali who ain't here yet. It could be people in Gambia who are planning the trip next year. Because they're just as Scottish as native Scots. Our people.
Yet this is a Tory government whose Home Secretary stood up at her own conference with glee and a grin on her face and talked about ending the free movement of people once and for all with enthusiasm.
An alternative to clamping down on freedom of movement is of course what the SNP intend to do. By their own admission, they are already the most pro-immigration party within the whole of the UK. We've also seen a multitude of human rights laws being implemented into the Scottish legal system. So you can expect to see in a quote-unquote independent Scotland all of those human rights obligations being met, as well as the supposed responsibilities that we would be required to live up to if we were to be part of the European Union as a quote-unquote independent Scotland. And we all know that Helmet Head would be happy to oblige in that regard. And what do you think that would be? What do you think the human rights adaptations were all about? For your benefit? Come on now. Oh no. Are you protected under hate crime characteristics? No, you're fucking not. I'll tell you what it was for. It was for the Migrant Compact. It was for the Refugee Compact. And as for the living up to their responsibilities, well, we all know that that will be taking in your fair share of mass migration, because that is what this is about. You know, people have been saying this about the SNP a lot longer than the SNP themselves have been making it obvious. A lot to be said. Globalist propaganda through and through. And then, of course, the demographic time bomb, apparently, that we now see, or we're going to see, apparently. And whose fault's that? The SNP had been in charge for 12 years, and they did nothing. They have allowed this to happen, and they are promoting and pushing forward policies to ensure that it's not reversed. our people. How dare they reduce the amount of immigrants coming into the UK while they stand up here and grandstand.
Achieve as an independent country. And so, Conference, as Derek Mackay said so well yesterday, we cannot afford to be subject to the whim of Westminster for years and years to come.
I can't quite believe how they've been able to convince many independent supporters that somehow independence and becoming a European Union member state are somehow intertwined and always have been. Truly remarkable. I mean, talk about subversion. I mean, the EU make no secret of their intentions going forwards, more centralisation and so on, but oddly enough the SNP keep it a secret, as they sell this narrative that the EU is all things bright and beautiful, of family keeping peace, while they sprinkle progressive policies on their diverse and cohesive constituents. And these people fucking lap it up, clapping away, thinking this is just remarkable. They really care about us. The first government, a long, long time, to really care about its people. Yeah, I fell for that one too when I was 16. You know, Ted Heath duped the public in 1975, and the SNP are repeating the process 44 years later.